Do you ever feel that the English you learned in the classroom is a completely different language to the one British people actually speak? Then this video is for you. You won't find real everyday English in grammar books. It's found in small everyday moments, the little conversations that happen in homes across the UK. And you are going to hear one of these conversations that took place in my home yesterday. It's full of common natural expressions you need to know if you want to become fluent. Here's how it works. First, listen to the conversation. Don't worry if you don't understand everything that's said, because after that, I'll take you through all the expressions which will really make you sound like a genuine native speaker. At the end, you'll get the chance to practice your own speaking skills by taking part in that conversation yourself. For now, just listen. Hi, I'm Steve. Let's do this. For crying out loud, that's another bulb gone. That's the second one this month. Have we got a spare?
Give us a tick. I'll go and see. I think there might be one in the kitchen cupboard, lurking with all the other junk.
Okay, meanwhile, I'll get the step ladder so I can reach.
Right, found one. Is this any good?
No, it's the wrong sort. It's too small. And it's one of those newfangled energy-saving ones.
What's up with using an energy saver bulb? They last for ages.
The light's too dim for in here. It takes forever to warm up. And it gives a weird sort of cold light. I need one of those old-fashioned ones.
All right, Busspot. Hang on. I'll go and have another butcher's. Honestly, we need to have a proper clear out of this cupboard one of these days. What about this? Found it right at the back. Any good?
Smashing. Now that's what I'm talking about. It's just what the doctor ordered.
I'll stand by the switch then. We don't want you getting a shock.
Good thinking. Gosh, this is fiddly. The old one is stuck tight. There, that should do it.
Shall I flick the switch?
Go on then.
Brilliant. I wasn't sure that old thing would even work.
We'll have to make sure we get a stock of them for next time. They're getting harder to find.
I'll put them on the shopping list for the next time we nip to the supermarket.
Good thinking. In fact, there are a few bits and bobs we need.
You're right. We could do with some biscuits. And we've nearly run out of washing up liquid as well.
Well, should we just shoot up there now? It won't take long.
Might as well. You put the stepladder away, and I'll grab my purse.
Deal. I might even treat you to a Starbucks on the way.
In that case, you'd better bring your wallet.
Now we're going to take a few minutes to go through the most important words and phrases from that conversation, so you can really understand them and start using them. If you're already on our email list, a full guide will be in your inbox. But if you're not, simply click in the link in the description to get your totally free copy. Now first, you heard me say, for crying out loud, that's another bulb gone. This is a great informal way to show you're annoyed or frustrated about something without using really bad words. Now, to sound natural when you say this, you should move the G from crying over to the front of out. So slowly it sounds like crying out. And at normal speed, crying out. You try. For crying out loud. Next, Kerry said,
Give us a tick. I'll go and see.
this is a very common informal British way of saying, give me a moment, be patient with me. You should notice that English people often say us when they just mean me. For example, I might say, can you help us with this? When to be grammatically correct, it should really be, can you help me with this? Kerry thought that the spare bulb might be lurking with the other junk in the cupboard. And she was being funny using the word lurking, which really means when someone hides so they can jump out and attack someone else. Also, some of my students have a problem with this common word cupboard. To say it correctly, just don't pronounce the P. It's not cupboard, it's cupboard. You try, cupboard. Then you heard, and it's one of those newfangled energy-saving ones. This is again a funny, slightly old-fashioned expression. We use it for something that's modern, especially if we think it's a bit too complicated. For example,
My new phone is far too newfangled for me.
the reason I didn't want to use the newfangled energy saver bulb was, the light's too dim for in here. It takes forever to warm up. I used this word, dim, which has two main uses. First, as in this case, it means not very bright. And its other use is to say someone isn't very clever.
Just like you then.
Next you heard,
What about this? Found it right at the back. Any good?
now there isn't any complicated vocabulary being used, but I want you to notice that in natural fast English, lots of the small unnecessary words are simply missed out. For example, a more complete version of this would be,
What about this one? I found it at the back of the cupboard. Isn't any good for your purposes.
which was shortened to,
What about this? Found it at the back. Any good?
this is the difference between classroom English and how native speakers actually talk. Kerry told me she was going to stand by the switch. This is a phrasal verb, and it means she was going to wait next to the switch and be prepared to turn it on or off. Stand by means you're waiting to do something. I used a lovely English expression next. Good thinking. In fact, there are a few bits and bobs we need. This simply means small items that I don't want to name individually. Bits and bobs. Notice how I pronounce the and without the D. Bits and bobs. Bits and bobs. You try. During the conversation, you heard 3 different expressions for making a quick trip somewhere. Repeat after me. I'm going to nip to the doctor's. I'm going to pop along there next week. I'm going to shoot up to town to meet my friends. Now you know the vocabulary, it's time to practice your speaking. You're going to take Kerry's place in that conversation. Your words will appear on the screen as you need them, and for the best results, what should we do?
Speak out loud.
Speak out loud. For crying out loud, that's another bulb gone. That's the second one this month. Have we got a spare? Okay, meanwhile, I'll get the step ladder so I can reach. No, it's the wrong sort. It's too small, and it's one of those newfangled energy-saving ones. The light's too dim for in here. It takes forever to warm up, and it gives a weird sort of cold light. I need one of those old-fashioned ones. Smashing. Now that's what I'm talking about. It's just what the doctor ordered. Good thinking. Gosh, this is fiddly. The old one is stuck tight. There, that should do it. Go on then. We'll have to make sure we get a stock of them for next time. They're getting harder to find. Good thinking. In fact, there are a few bits and bobs we need. Well, should we just shoot up there now? It won't take long. Deal. I might even treat you to a Starbucks on the way. For another English lesson that teaches you how to sound more natural, have on butchers at this video. I'll see you next time.